Chinese government, when they talked about the EU constitution a few years ago, they said it was a geniusful masterpiece of skill, is how they called the EU constitution. So it's a tough one to decide, to know exactly what's going to happen. But if something happened, we're always being told that terrorism is a huge threat, even though more people died from salmonella, and they're always saying that it's guaranteed a nuclear bomb will go off in a city. I went to a UN meeting in Dublin here a few weeks ago, and they must have mentioned terror about every 2 sentences, and they said it's guaranteed it's going to go off. There's a nuke going off in the city, and if their prediction comes true in Europe, I can imagine with the Lisbon Treaty passed and the Self-Amending Act, I can imagine overnight the MEPs and the Prime Ministers would vote to create a EU army for such a situation.
Yeah, and we know that has happened in the past. That's the way things are being run, unfortunately. Some kind of event, terror or otherwise, and that ratifies some kind of legal procedure. We've seen it in the US with the Patriot Act, of course, and we could very well have something similar over here, unfortunately. If we kind of project and look at the possibility then that Ireland actually unfortunately votes yes, let's begin with you, Dave. Do you think that there will be kind of any immediate steps taken, or do you think that this again will kind of nothing will happen at the beginning, but then gradually, slowly things will begin to pop pop through the through the veil, so to speak? What do you think, Dave?
No, I think the tiptoe approach, I think that's going to change drastically if this goes ahead, because we're really up till now they've used coercion and manipulation to kind of bring the people on board. But if this Lisbon Treaty goes ahead, then the whole power will have shifted, and they'll no longer need to coerce us, or they no longer need the propaganda and coercion and the treaties. So the whole power will have shifted, and I think things will start changing much more dramatically if this Lisbon Treaty goes ahead. I'd be very, I think we will see dramatic changes. Probably not overnight, but definitely things will definitely speed up a lot more.
Very worrying indeed. Anthony, do you have any ideas about the immediate steps being taken?
If the Irish people vote yes, I don't see how we would overturn that, since they would be going against. It'd be pretty tough going against these people who didn't give the other 26 states a vote on it. And once they have this power, they can convince people of anything. They convinced us that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. As you probably know yourself, you need the Congress approval to go to war, but they don't need it in the US. So it'd be very hard to try and overturn that decision. They have control of the media, and I think if it's passed, I think the media would be celebrating it on TV, and the Irish people, they wouldn't care, and they'd be told that it's democracy, that was their decision. Even if there's voting fraud proved, like in the US, there was voting fraud proved in the last election, and people went to jail. But still, nothing has changed. So
that's right.
Very worrying.
Indeed, very worrying. And again, Ashley Moat pointed out the fact that under the Constitution, and I guess then also under the EU treaty, it's going to actually be more difficult getting out of the EU, meaning that if a nation actually decides after, a few years that, this is not for us, we actually want to, drop out here. But under the treaty or the Constitution, this is going to be much more difficult. And there's a period, I think, of up to 2 years where basically you are in a total, deadlock. You don't have any decision over your own country, basically. Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, it's in the Lisbon Treaty as well. I'm just trying to find the particular article, but basically it's the same thing. You have to give notice, and then you have 2 years then where there's a consultation goes on between the Commission and the particular country, And within that 2 years, the country is basically powerless. They can really negotiate what they want. So it would be very, very difficult to actually get out of the EU. At the moment, the situation at the moment is that any country can leave the EU tomorrow if they wanted. They just hand in their notice, and then tomorrow they're out of the EU. But if this goes ahead, then they've taken that aspect of the constitution into this Lisbon Treaty also.
So they're tightening the grip. That's for sure.
That's why. Why did they include it? Why did they word it like that?
Yeah, and as Ashley pointed out in his lecture, I mean, he said that I mean, the rhetoric under this has been, no, I mean, nothing will really change. The countries will still have their own, sovereignty and so forth. But again, why even put in something like this if nothing's going to change? I mean, it's totally ludicrous to think like that. It doesn't work,
Well, I've heard politicians on the yes side saying that we should vote yes because the treaty is absolutely nothing and it doesn't matter. And that's why the other states are not getting a vote, because it's nothing. It doesn't matter. And then also from the people on the same party is saying that if you don't vote yes, it's going to be an absolute disaster. The economy is going to fall apart, and so they're contradicting themselves.
Yeah, actually, Henrik, for any of your listeners who want to look it up, it's Article 49A. Any member state may withdraw from the Union in accordance with its own constitutional requirements. But then it goes on to say that it takes 2 years and has the agreement with the state. So it's the same thing as the Constitution. It's in Article 49A of the Lisbon Treaty. It's 2 years after notification referred to in paragraph 2, unless the European Council agreement member state unanimously decides to extend this period. So you would have to negotiate your withdrawal from the EU, and you can't withdraw for 2 years.
And the rules could be changed during that time. And it's not just us saying this. If you go to the website Wise Up Journal and you look for these articles, especially the human rights articles, it's all there. All the links is there to everything that's said. Everything is backed up.
It's incredible. And I mean, again, can this be prevented? I mean, if we ask you, Dave, are you positive or negative in regards to what is going on right now?
Well, there was a poll in one of the major newspapers there last Sunday, and the yes side are actually losing ground at the moment. So that they're ahead by about 6%, but there's still over 30% of the people are undecided. And I think there's a very good chance that we can defeat this treaty. So we are quite positive at the moment. Like the no side is definitely in the momentum as it stands. So we don't know what's going to happen over the next few weeks. What the government are going to do, what they have up under their sleeve. So, but there's a huge amount of grassroots organisations that are working in the background and are trying to educate people about the treaty. There's a lot of organisations that have speakers. They can go out to any group and tell them all the details. So, and ourselves then, we have we've really taken over the whole internet aspect of the debate with our videos and our website. So we are quite optimistic that this can be stopped. And if Ireland votes no, then that's the end of the Lisbon Treaty, because it has to be agreed by all 27 members.
Very good. That's
I'm a bit more apprehensive than Dave is, because I know that we still have the political parties still have to publicise their opinion. They have to put up their posters saying vote yes, and I think they're all saving it for the same time, maybe 2 weeks beforehand, to cover the city with vote yes, and they're going to be all over the media, over the TV, and then we're just hoping as well that there is no election fraud, but and their propaganda, they're definitely going to step up the propaganda, but that actually makes me work harder. Worrying about this, that it could actually go yes, it will make me work harder and go out on the street and try and have a bigger impact
Is that the best way to do things? I mean, again, obviously you guys have done the film on this. You've done, you're out there, you're putting out the information, you're highlighting new frauds and the propaganda as it kind of rolls out, up to the referendum or the poll. But is the best way to go out, in the streets and waving placards, or is this about just informing, from individual to individual? Is there any kind of tactics involved here, Anthony? What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, we're contacting groups. We're contacting groups first, and unions and churches, and trying to talk to the main people there and get them informed on the issues, and then they can go and inform the rest of the groups. So our limited resources, we're trying to use it in a creative way, and also we're going to put radio ads. Now, Ireland, there's only like 4 million people in Ireland, so we can actually have a big effect to a small number of people. We're going to put radio ads on the FM 106 that has 440,000 listenership.
Right.
So we're going to put ads on that, and we also have people in other cities who we've gotten loads of flyers printed out and everything, and we've given thousands out, all in different cities, and lots of other groups keep requesting more flyers from us. So our particular group, We Are Change Ireland, that's quite small, but we're linking into all these other groups, and we're constantly thinking of creative ways to try and get the information out, and we'd also recommend that people in Sweden and other countries that are going to be taken over by this EU treaty, Lisbon Treaty, if they could even contact radio stations here and pay for an ad, or if they could find the Irish newspapers and pay for an ad themselves. You don't have to donate money to a group. Other people in other countries could put ads in our papers. Because we have the EU politicians coming over here and talking to our people and telling us that we should vote yes.
Yeah.
So the people from the other EU countries should also do the same, put ads in to counteract the propaganda.
Yeah, we also we have some people who want to come over as well from other countries, so we're expecting people to come over from Austria and Germany and England as well to help us out too. So.
Oh, that's excellent. Very good. And I'm glad to hear that you mentioned that in regards to putting out stuff in the papers. But, again, for people that are interested in supporting your group in regards to, where, you have a plan in regards to where you want to put the ads, you're targeting radio, obviously, and papers. How can people that are concerned about this issue and want to help you guys along? Because the more money you have at this point, the more ads you actually can put out there. Do you have any donations or anything on your website for this?
Well, there is a PayPal donation on the website on wiseupjournal.com, and we are going to put up a web page that will list all the newspapers and the radio stations where people could, in their groups in their own countries, could contact those newspapers, and they could send them their graphics directly. They could send their radio ads directly and pay those newspapers and radios directly.
And we will, if they want to contact us, we'll work with them as well to get the ads together and things like that,
Exactly, and again, it's about getting the funds in order to do that. Do you guys know how much does it cost to put on a 30-second soundbite on a big radio station? Do you guys know?
Yeah, well that radio station FM 106, which has 440,000 listenership, it's €300 for one 20-second spot.
Yeah,
we're going to put up a few spots on that.
That's not particularly much. There's €1 if 300 people donate. That's not much.
Yeah, it's great value. Yeah,
and they can use our ad if they want. That wouldn't be a problem.
We're going to upload our radio ad on the website as well, so people could download that and they could contact radio stations themselves and send them our ads, so they wouldn't need to get it produced. We can provide the material.
Brilliant. That's an excellent idea. And again, if you have some kind of link in regards to that up soon, go ahead and send it my way, and I'll make sure to put it up on the website too, because if there's a way to people to just,